Well, first of all, I think David Leitch is an absolute genius, and I think coming from that whole stuntman element allows the action to be so immersive because he lets us see everything that's happening on screen. That continuous shot in the stairwell to the room to the car blew my freaking mind. I was just curious, I know we don't have a lot of time, but you talk about shooting that, was it in order the way it was shot? 'Cause I know there's like, he stitches things together sometimes, but how was that shot done? And how many times did you hit that wall when you fell down the stairs?
A few times. Yeah, I mean, technically it was very, we set the bar pretty high trying to do that. And I think none of us really knew if we were going to be able to do it until the third day when we were still shooting it.
Wow.
It was definitely the most difficult thing that we tried to pull off in the film. And by the end of it, we worked with an editor on set to see if everything was working. We were shooting, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it really is a long period of fighting without cutting. 20 moves at a time, 20 fight moves, 20 hits at a time, and if you miss one hit, the whole thing kind of falls apart. So logistically, we worked really hard up until the point that we were shooting, and then we did shoot it continuously, so that by the time we were in that gypsy apartment,
oh my God,
we were absolutely exhausted.
It's such a great scene. And I'm curious, when you're kicking someone down the stairs like that, I mean, I know you're acting, but is there a part of you that's like, I feel kind of bad about this?
All the time.
Yeah.
All the time. One of the scariest things I think I've ever had to do on film is just watching that one guy walk up to me and then just slowly fall backwards down the staircase. And every time he did that, I mean, he just like fell with his entire body backwards. And then he would just get up, and I couldn't understand it. I just couldn't understand how that was even possible.
Yeah. I was geeking out beyond belief during the scene when you had that rope around that guy's neck and you flip him and he kicks the guy in front of him. Can you talk about how that shot was done? Because I mean, obviously we're seeing it happen on camera the way it was done, but is he really connecting with the guy's face? I mean, how many takes was that? It was insane.
Which one are you talking about? In the apartment?
Yeah, the yellow rope goes around and the guy flips and kicks the guy in front of him.
Yeah. So, I mean, all of that was practical. I mean, we really did all of that stuff. A lot of it I couldn't quite understand because I'm not so much off that world, but these stunt guys are unbelievable. And how they kind of train their bodies to take hits and falls, I don't understand it at all. And then I also always worry that they're hurt and they're not saying that they're hurt. So there was a lot of me kind of constantly going, are you okay? Are you? Everything that we have of the behind the scenes is just me going, are you okay? Are you okay? Are you sure? Are you okay? Because it just looks so scary.
Now, I'm a huge George Miller fan. I obviously love Mad Max, and I honestly want to see Furiosa and Lorraine in a scene together. I just think that would be amazing. I know you get asked questions a lot about like characters meeting, but could you imagine what those two would be like if they were in the same room? Like, what would their fight be like? I think that would be amazing.
It would be interesting because they both fight in such a different way.
Right.
Furiosa's not really a fighter. You know, she just kind of had to learn in order to survive. And I think most of how she fights is just out of necessity. Lorraine has a little bit of that too towards the end if she's really kind of pushed into a corner. But I think, you know, she's a trained fighter and she's really good at utilizing her environment and what she has around her.
You genuinely like get into these roles, and I mean, I've been watching your work forever. Obviously, Monster was brilliant, everything you've done. But I was reading you cracked 2 teeth when you were shooting this. And I know you've just spoken about this, but can you talk about what you actually had to do to fix it and how you actually cracked them? It was, I know it was in the training, but how did that all happen?
Yeah, I clenched apparently really hard on my jaw while I was training, and I think it was just out of the frustration of trying to learn how to fight. And from clenching so hard, I cracked 2 teeth in the back and had to have surgery to remove them right before we went to Budapest to shoot. Yeah.
Have you ever had any other previous injuries on sets in the movies you've done before? Or is this like kind of the most like the hardest one you've worked on?
No, I had a really bad injury on Aeon Flux. I almost paralyzed myself.
What happened?
I did a back handspring and my feet slipped from underneath me and I landed with my entire body weight on my neck and herniated a disc, and I could have done severe damage on that. That was definitely the scariest thing that's ever happened to me.
That's insane. Now, before I let you go, I think obviously the roles you've chosen over your career have been amazing. Is there a movie of yours you like to go back and watch, or do you just don't? Can you watch your own films? I know actors have a problem watching their movies sometimes, but I'm curious.
I watch the movie so much in the process of trying to get it out there into the world, whether it's test screenings or just being in the editing room and working with the director, and so I see it so much in the process that I don't ever have that moment on a Saturday morning, you know, let me pop out the yards and check that out. I don't do that. I don't think I could do that. I surf sometimes and I'll catch something and stay on it for about 10 minutes. But by the time the movie comes out, I've seen it so many times that I'm good.
Yeah, well, you did an amazing job in the movie. It was awesome talking to you, and thank you for all the action you do.
Thank you for nerding out.
No,
I really appreciate
no,
that.
David's freaking awesome.
I love it. Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Those guys